Need a customer service agent for your business? Short on people? Well, with OpenAI's Agent Kit, we can do exactly that. We can build a customer service agent that we can embed in our website at a REST API endpoint to be able to handle those complex tasks. My name is Jeff Bernard with Solve Systems, and we work to help businesses automate their companies. So give us a shout if you need some help. Also, like and subscribe to get more videos in this OpenAI Agent Kit series. Without further ado, let's jump into the customer service agent. So immediately you're going to jump into the templates section. If you already have a workflow built, your workflow will be right here. This is templates, right? So we've gone over the data enrichment, we've gone over planning helper, and now we're going to look at customer service. So customer service is pretty vast, right? You have all these nodes that have been set up. You have a start node. It's basically the starting point, right? It's going to be the text input. And then you have a jailbreak node. That's pretty interesting because you can add this and it basically avoids prompt injections. And then you have a classification node. So this is all conditional logic and prompts, basically, is how all of this is strung together. And you can see here, we return item, cancel subscription, get information. This goes into, and if it's not one of those things, then this goes into an end, right? So if it's considered a jailbreak, guard or guarded against the jailbreak, right? If that is a fail, then it goes into end. If it passes, it goes into agent classification. So let's look at agent classification, which we actually just did. And so this is using various models to do these detections, which is kind of interesting. The conditional logic here, we define the outputs from classification agent. So you see input, output, parse, classification equals, return item, right? So we're taking the items defined here, right? We're instructing the 4.1 mini to just return these items as conditions. We're monitoring the conditions here. We're giving it some else if statements. And if it is a return agent or return item, it's going to hit the return agent, offer replacement, etc. Right? If it is a cancel subscription, retention agent, your goal is to conversate with the person, making sure that they're satisfied. And then you have information agent, right? So this will give information on the details regarding the input, right? And then this is an end node if it's anything else. This goes to user approval, provide the user an offer that then asks them to accept, and then it ends the behavior or ends the conditions after that, right? So one thing I was doing earlier, which is trying to prompt inject it to give me a recipe for flan, right? I saw this somewhere on LinkedIn, so I thought that'd be funny. And because the agent is an information agent, you can actually bypass the jailbreak. So it's not like a malicious jailbreak, right? But it is going off of the rails as it pertains to what we're trying to achieve. So if we look at the agent as a whole, right, it is basically we're trying to give it some information, then respond to the customer. So give me a flan recipe. We can see it hits the nodes, it classifies it, right? And then it gives us information. Right, so it's kind of silly, but it illustrates the point. It's going to give inaccurate, or the responses maybe we don't want. So let's test adding, adding some more context here. So we can open this up, and this gives us a understanding of what the information agent does. Okay, all interactions must comply. Okay. Example, let's add important reply to questions outside of the applicable statements above. Okay, now we can save this and that information is added. So let's see if we can get the flan again. Okay, so it's going to go to classification. Okay, so just with that prompting change, right, only respond with the information above. I'm here to provide your informational information about the policies and services for a flan recipe. You might want to check cooking website if you have, access to that. Okay, so as you can see, we sort of grounded it, whereas before it would give us the flan recipe. So you can sort of dig into your agent here and start really like messing with the conditions, right? And messing with the instructions, right? And really start dialing in what you want here. You could also search an MCP, right? Like search an MCP for something, search files for something. So you can dump files into your vector database to be able to search through and see if we wanted to answer some specific questions. So this is just a cursory understanding of the customer agent flow. And then if we wanted to integrate this with a REST API, for example, we could use ChatKit, which you can go and look up on the API resources for OpenAI's API. And you would be using this ID, incorporating that into the REST endpoint. And then you could use the agent SDK, where you have the option to use TypeScript or Python. So this is just a cursory understanding, and I really hope this was helpful. I'm looking forward to making more tutorials on AgentKit, and I'm very excited for the improvements there and how quickly you can get up and running with understanding sort of how these LLMs think and how you can integrate them into different parts of your business. My name is Jeff Bernard, and I hope you have a good day.